Chris, let's real quickly thank the sponsors for making tonight's game possible here in Hastings. We want to thank, among the sponsors, Dog and Suds, Green Motor Sales, Hastings Savings and Loan, Burger Chef, Cleveland's Menswear, Bosley Pharmacy, and I believe you're familiar with that pharmacy, Leary Sports Center, the Tikai Restaurant, Strickland Insurance Agency, Realty World, Gardner Pharmacy, Hastings City Bank, and Burger Chef, who will be a dual sponsor for tonight's ball game, as the Hastings Saxons are being introduced, coming out onto the field and touching that gold pride. And there's going to be a lot of gold pride for the opening game of the season, a very important game. It won't make a bit of difference in league standings. However, I don't think you could tell any of these Saxons right now that this game is not important.
Oh, definitely not. Both these teams are from the old West Central League, and this is a rivalry that goes way back. And last year, Lakewood beat Hastings at Lakewood 6-0, and it was quite a game. And Karpinski was really upset with Hastings' offense last year, and he says they're going to be ready this year.
I'd imagine Karpinski would be upset when your offense doesn't get any points on the board. It's really hard to win a ball game.
It was a lot in the line. Colgrove was passing the ball pretty well last year, but the Hastings line was giving him no protection at all, and Hastings' defense played a whale of a game. John Karpinski starting at quarterback tonight for the Hastings. He runs the option well. He's really quick to the outside. And if I were a Lakewood defensive man, I'd be watching for him on the outside.
Karpinski only a sophomore, so Lakewood has something to look forward to over the next few years.
Yeah, Hastings is going to be really tough tonight. This is going to be quite a ball game. And keep your eye on Kevin McMahon when the Hastings is going for a field goal. He just started kicking a couple years ago, and the kid can boot the ball.
Okay, let's take a look. The toss of the coin had been taking place a little earlier. Hastings won the flip of the coin. Hastings elected to receive, and Lakewood, who is now on the field, elected to defend the goal to our left. Hastings now taking the field, and they will be receiving. And let's see if I can have the starting lineups offensively for both squads. We'll be just about ready for the start of tonight's ball game. Hastings breaking out of their huddle and dropping back. And Chris, if you'd go ahead and pick up the three deep men for the Saxons.
All right, Hastings has Brad King deep, Bob Tunison, and John Karpinski are the other two men on the field. I think Lakewood's getting ready to kick off. I can feel the excitement.
Super crowd for the opening of this 1979 football campaign, as the officials are getting ready, indicating that we are about ready for the start of the 79 campaign for the Saxons. And there's the foot into the football. This season is underway as the Saxons gathered in at the 10, to the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30, the 35, the 40, the 43-yard line, maybe the 45 before he's finally run out of bounds. So the Hastings Saxons starting off with very good field position. Gathering that in, of course, was Brad King for the Saxons. He's only a junior, goes 5'7" and 150 pounds.
Brad runs 110-4. He's really quick. He's a man to watch out.
Okay, the ball is spotted at the Saxon 44-yard line, and up to the line come the Gold Pride as the wide receiver goes wide to the right side, and it goes to King. King will get back to the line of scrimmage and dive forward for a pickup of maybe about 2 yards. As he falls forward to the 46-yard line, we'll be looking at a 2nd and 8 situation with now 11:40 remaining in this, the first quarter of play. So the Saxons have run one offensive play, and it gained 2 yards.
And that 2 yards was all Brad King as it looked from up here. He could have been caught back behind the line. He just struggled and kept those feet moving.
Karpinski at quarterback takes the snap, hands it off to the first man through, and the Saxons this time will pick about 3 yards as they'll get it out to the 49-yard line in their own territory, where it'll now be 3rd and a long 5 for the Saxons. As running the ball that last play, it was Mark Smith, a senior, who goes 5'10" and tips the scales at 180 pounds. Saxons breaking out of their quarterback. This time their wide man goes wide to the left side. That's Jerry Cook, number 20. Karpinski takes a snap, hands it off over the right side, goes to King. He's across the 45 and down to the 43-yard line. That will be a Saxon first down, the first down of the ball game. So the Saxons advance the ball down to the Lakewood 42-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Saxons. And I would think that Karpinski would be a little happier with the offensive effort thus far.
I really think a Mack truck could have got through that hole that they just opened there for Brad King. And he's He's really quick. So is his whole Saxon front line this year. The front line has improved over last year.
The Saxons have a little weight advantage, and up to the line they come. 1st and 10, there's the handoff. We're keeping it as Karpinski pitching it at the last moment. Across the 35, the 30, King to the 20. They end up knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line. And again, a first down for the Saxons. They started this drive at their own 44-yard line. They're now down to the 17-yard line in Lakewood territory and beginning to knock on the door.
John Karpinski ran that play perfectly. He waited exactly until the defensive end was about to hit him to pitch. That allowed King to have the opening. Just reminds me a lot of Ricky Leach.
Excellent play thrown by Karpinski, who is only a sophomore. There's the handoff, and it goes through the middle. This time, the Lakewood defense rises to the occasion, and the Saxons will be thrown for their first loss of the ball game, as we're looking now at a 2nd and 11 situation where the Saxons will have the ball from the Lakewood 18-yard line. As shuttling in and out of the ball game for the Saxons, we have Mark Smith and Bob Tunison, both athletes are seniors. Up to the line they come, barking out the signals. It's Karpinski. He hands it off through the middle, and the Saxons will get the ball down to about the 15-yard line. A pickup of 3. We'll be looking now at a 3rd and long 8 situation for the Saxons. It's now 9:35 and the clock is running in this first quarter of play. A scoreless quarter thus far. The Saxons starting this drive at their own 44. They've picked up a few first downs in this drive, and they're now down at the 15-yard line. Up to the line they come. Karpinski at quarterback has wide to the left side. There's split end, and it is going to be Karpinski dropped for a loss on the play of about 6 yards as the ball will be spotted at the 21, and we're going to have a 4th and long facing the Saxons.
That just looked like a little mix-up in play, something that's going to happen when you have a sophomore out there directing your team.
Okay, timeout has been called, and while we have a moment, we'd like to tell you that the Dog & Sons Drive-In, located at 1110 West Green Street, is the place to go for a delicious Texas burger, coney dog, charcoal burger, and a creamy root beer drink to go right along with it. Dog & Sons also serves dinner and dinner baskets for a change of pace. Dog & Sons Drive-In is not just a drive-in. You may also dine inside the restaurant at your convenience. Along with your dinner, you receive a salad bar with friendly atmosphere and service. Come to Dog & Sons for a delicious Texas twin burger, coney dog, charcoal burger, and their famous thick and creamy root beer drinks. Remember, if you want to dine inside or out, come to Dog & Suds, located at 1110 West Green Street in Hastings. Dog & Suds would like to wish the Saxon football team the best of luck in this 1979 football season. The Saxons will be attempting a field goal as the ball is spotted at the 27. It's up, it's in that direction, and it is no good as it's off to the left. So the attempt is no good. It was a 37-yard attempt, and it appeared to have the distance, but just off to the left side. As for the Saxons, it was Kevin McMahon, a senior, making a fine effort, but just a little off to the left.
McMahon is an amazing kicker. He didn't even play football his freshman or sophomore year. He came out kicking the ball really well for the Saxons last year, and I'm sure he's going to be a threat to teams this year. That 3 points means a lot.
Okay, it'll be the Vikings spotting the ball at their own 20-yard line, 21. Up to the line they come. There's the snap, and the ball goes through the middle, and the Saxons defense rises to the occasion, allowing only 1, possibly 2 yards. We'll call it now 2nd and a long 8 for the Vikings of Lakewood in this old and very strong rivalry between the Saxons and the Vikings. We have now 8.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter of play. A scoreless first quarter at this point in play. The Saxons started a drive at their own 44-yard line, advanced the ball down to the 15, and that's the deepest they could penetrate. Now up to the line come the Vikings. The ball goes over the right side, and it is going to be the Saxons snowing them under after a loss of another a pickup of 2 yards, as the ball will be spotted at about the 24. We'll call it the 25-yard line. This will bring up a 3rd and 6.
And in on the stop on that play was Chuck Helmer and Butch Armour, Hastings' two tackles that play both offensively and defensively. They're both very big and very strong.
Okay, up to the line now. Again, come the Vikings at quarterback. It's Bill Welch. Welch running him out of the lake, or the wishbone. Hands it off over the right side, and the Saxons this time will allow him up to the 31-yard line. It is going to be close to a first down. The officials looking over to the far side, and this one is going to be decided, I would imagine, by inches. And football is so much a game of inches, and we will be bringing the chain in from the far side to see if we'll have 4th and inches or 1st and 10, again, just by inches. As the chains come over from the far side, the clock is stopped with 7 minutes, 36 seconds remaining in this, the first quarter of play. A scoreless quarter at this point in time. The chains will be stretched out, and we'll see how close it's going to be, Chris. As they spot the ball and stretch the chain, it is good by just less than the length of the ball. So it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Vikings of Lakewood as the ball is at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. So the Vikings have their first down of the ball game. So breaking out of the huddle first and going wide to the left side is Scott Foreman, number 18. He's the wide receiver. Bringing him up is Bill Welch at quarterback, running his squad out of the wishbone. A small but quick squad is how Lakewood has been scouted. Pitch out around the left side as it goes to Foreman. Foreman trying to turn the corner, and he is finally going to be dumped. There is a flag on the play, and it is just about at the line of scrimmage. We'll see what the officials have detected. That is the first flag of the ball game. And for this early in the season, the first game of the season, only one flag at this point in time shows some very good preparation on the part of both squads.
It looked like a clip from here. Yep, that's what it's going to be. The Saxons had great lateral pursuit on that play, getting out there to stop the running back. They're moving well early in the ball game here.
So that will nullify a pickup of 4 yards, and as Chris mentioned, great lateral pursuit. Now, instead of a 2nd and 6, we'll now be looking at a 1st and 25. The ball will be marched all the way back to the Lakewood 16-yard line. 1st and 25 from that point with 7:04, and the clock is running in this, the first quarter of play. Breaking out of the huddle first this time for Lakewood is the center, and that's Stuart Kirschenberger, a senior, 5'8", 165 pounds. At quarterback, it's Bill Welch. The senior puts the squad down, takes a snap, comes around the right side, looking downfield. He's going to tuck it under his wing and go, and the Saxons are there to stop him after a pickup of maybe 2 yards. They'll get it out to the 18-yard line, and there it will now be 2nd and 23 with just less than 6.5 minutes remaining in this scoreless first quarter of play. A non-conference game, but a very important game for pride for both teams.
Very important, and there were some real key injuries in this game. Bill Welch starting at quarterback in place of Dave Durkee, who was injured, and Steve Hammond, who started offensively and defensively for the Saxons, is out with a knee injury, so pretty much evens out here, and just have to see how it turns out.
Handoff goes to the middle on a quick dive, and the Saxons are there to stop it after a pickup of, again, maybe 2 yards. And we'll be looking now at the ball spotted right on the 20-yard line. We're looking at a 3rd and 21 situation with 5:50 remaining in this first quarter of play, as Ed Karpinski has to be happy with what he's seeing from his troops defensively.
Coach Karpinski has always had good defenses. They don't allow a lot of points. This year it was just a matter of getting that offensive line. They were moving well at the end of last year after that Lakewood game. They went 7-1, so you had to know they were tough, and he's got this team straightened around now.
Bill Welch at quarterback puts his wishbone down. Whistles blow. There's a flag, and too much time was taken by the Vikings. This will be a delay of game, marching the ball back to the 15-yard line, and second time in tonight's ball game that the ball has been advanced back to the Lakewood 15.
It's this opening game jitters. They're making a lot of mistakes here early, and I'm sure both coaches understand but don't approve.
3rd and 26. Hastings is thus far to commit yet to commit a personal in order to have a flag thrown, while Lakewood has had 2 flags thrown on them, one for clipping, one for delay of game. Handoff goes over the left side, and again it's those Saxons just swarming over them, allowing a pickup of only 1 yard. The ball is advanced to the 16-yard line, bringing up a 4th and 25 and a punting situation for the Vikings. So the defense, which we have been complimenting very highly, lives up to that gold pride.
Chuck Helmer really got in, and he stuck that guy hard on that stop. Chuck's been playing for a couple years now, and he's been playing some good defensive and offensive tackling. He's a guy to watch out for in the Twin Valley this year.
Okay, going back to receive will be Ed Maurer. He'll be joined back there by Karpinski and Brad King. As going back, and there's another flag, as again Lakewood is guilty of delay of game, I believe, and that's what they'll call it. Another 5-yarder is walked off against Lakewood. That is the third flag thrown against Lakewood, bringing up now a 4th and 30 situation from the 11-yard line, and this is the deepest the ball has been penetrated into Lakewood territory. Still back is King and Karpinski, and back shallow for the Saxons is Ed Maurer. And going back again to punt, there's the ball, the snap, and it's off the right side of his foot. It's going to be short as the Saxons watch the ball bounce as it goes across to the 44-yard line, and that's where it's going to be down. 46-yard line, between the 45-46-yard line of the Lakewood territory, so the ball will be spotted. We'll call it the 45. 1st and 10 for the Saxons. Again, Hastings taking over with very good field position.
Those 2 delay of game calls cost them 10 yards. That's going to be 10 very important yards. I'm sure Paul Sowers wasn't too happy with that kick.
Up to the line they come. The ball is spotted just shy of the 45-yard line. Karpinski at quarterback for the Saxons takes a snap, hands it off to King. King across the 40-yard line, dives forward to the 39. Pick up on the play of 6. We'll be looking now at a 2nd and 4 situation. This year in the Twin Valley, I would have to say Hastings along with Marshall would probably be the 2 favors to take the league. Other teams to watch for, I would imagine, would be Harper Creek and Sturgis. Now up to the line they come. Wide to the left side for the Saxons. We have Jerry Cook. As Karpinski hands it off over the right side, and this time it is going to be King, tripped up over the line of scrimmage. He'll dive forward for maybe about a yard. We're looking now at a 3rd and 3 for the Saxons.
As I said before, Brad King is really quick. He's taking over for his brother Dan, who I believe was the first runner in Hastings history to get over 1,000 yards, and that's when he was a sophomore. Quite a runner, and I just hope Brad can do as well.
Okay, Mark Smith now into the ball game for the Saxons. Going wide to the right side is Jerry Cook. Karpinski has his man on the right side on the slot. Going back, Karpinski looks downfield, fires it long. It was intended downfield for Rob Van Ingen, a senior, and it was a little overthrown, and this will bring up a 4th and 3 situation for the Saxons, as the ball will be spotted at the 38-yard line. I'd imagine Karpinski was not real happy with the amount of protection he received back there.
Well, John made a good throw. He had people coming in, and he threw it far enough in front of the receiver. There were 2 people behind him, and there was no way that ball was going to get intercepted. So it was a good throw.
Going back for the Saxons to punt, we have Dave Reardon, a senior, 5'10", 180 pounds. He'll be standing at his own 48-yard line, gets a good snap, gets a line drive spiral away as it bounces across the 5 to the 1, and it stays there. The Saxons pile it up at the 1-yard line. And with the defensive power we've seen from the Saxons, you can never tell. We may get 2 points on the scoreboard.
Well, it's going to be good. Tack and McConnell got down there in a hurry to get that ball down. And I really thought that was going to bounce into the end zone.
Dave Reardon got the snap from center at his own 48-yard line and just dumped it at the Lakewood 1-yard line. And talking about starting with your back to the wall.
It was another good snap by McConnell. If they had an all-state for snapping punts, I'd vote for him. He's excellent.
So the Vikings standing in their own end zone, barking the signals, taking it as Welch, quarterback keeper, and he'll dive forward to about the 4-yard line, a pickup of 3. We'll be looking at now a 2nd and 7 situation with 2:40 and the clock running in the scoreless first quarter of play. And this looks a little reminiscent of last year when it was a very low-scoring, hard-fought ball game.
It was all defense last year. Lakewood made a few mistakes offensively. They might have been able to score more than 6 points. But every year it's the opening game jitters when it's Hastings and Lakewood.
Up to the line they come. As the Saxons, Bill Welch puts him down from his own 4, takes a snap, hands it off around the left side, and the Saxons are going to stop it at the 7-yard line. After a pickup of another 3, we're looking at a 3rd and 4 situation as the Vikings would have to get out to the 11-yard line for a first down, and the ball is spotted about the 7-yard line, still in Viking territory. Just less than 2 minutes remaining in this first period of play as the Saxons marking out on the track before us. 9-0, here we go. And in order to reach that 9-0 record, the first step, of course, is to knock off their ancient rival, Lakewood. There's the snap, handoff around the left side, and again, it goes to number 30, Dan Mays, a senior, 6 feet tall, 194 pounds. He's stopped after a pickup of about 5 out to the 12-yard line. We're looking at the second first down in the ball game for the Saxons, and this one was good with a yard to spare. Last time they picked up their first down with only less than the length of the ball.
I'm amazed that they're still running at Chuck Helmer the way he's been playing defense. He's made all the stops out there, and if I were coach, if I were king, I'd turn it around and go the other way with it.
Up to the line they come. Bill Welch, quarterback, puts him down, takes a snap, goes again to Mays, and Mays will dive forward for a pickup on the play of about 6 yards. We're looking at a 2nd and 4 situation now for the Vikings.
I guess I just answered my own question. They went the other way, and Helmer was still in on the stop.
Very fine defensive effort as Helmer has just been all over the field defensively for the Saxons. I've been very impressed by the Saxons' lateral pursuit that they have shown so far in tonight's ballgame. 2nd and 4 for the Vikings. There's a snap. Handoff through the middle. It's fumbled, and the Saxons have come up with the ball. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line, and we'll see who comes up off the bottom of the pile, as I believe it was, let's see, it might have been Wendell Armour or else Paul Smith, as they both came up off the bottom of the pile. And in either case, it is the Saxons. 1st and 10 from the Lakewood 18-yard line, and you certainly have to say that the Saxons have had super field position in this first quarter of play. 25 seconds remaining in the period. Up to the line they come. Karpinski hands it out through the middle, and the Saxons bang their way down to the 10-yard line. This will bring up a 2nd and 1 situation now for the Saxons. 10, 9, 8. The clock runs down in this, the first quarter of play. Up to the line they come now. 3, 2, 1. They will not get the play underway. And while we have timeout, we'd like to remind you that Green Motor Sales Incorporated, located at 107 North Michigan Avenue in Hastings, has been established since 1936. Green Motor Sales has a large selection of cars in both Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, and GMC trucks. Green Motor Sales also has a complete line of parts for all equipment and 5 General Motors factory-trained servicemen. The service department is open 7:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. daily and closed on Saturdays. At Green Motor Sales, they let you come in for a demonstration ride, and you'll love it. When you decide to buy a new car from Green Motor Sales, we suggest you try our GMAC time payment plan. We make things uncomplicated for you. Green Motor Sales also features Metal Guard and Quaker Co. Green Motor Sales is located at 107 North Michigan Avenue in Hastings, or give them a call for a demonstration ride. The number is 945-2205. Up to the line come the Saxons for the first play in this, the second quarter of play, and the Saxons need a long one, and they pick up more than that, and another Hastings first down, and for the first time tonight we have a 1st and goal situation.
That's right. I'm really impressed with the way Karpinski's switching off Smith and Tunison, because they're both starting at linebacker on defense. He's making sure neither of them get too tired too early. Very smart move.
Karpinski takes the snap, hands it off on the right side, the ball is loose, and this time the second fumble of the ball game. Both times the defense has come up with it. Coming up with it for Lakewood is number 62, and that is Everett Rogers, a junior, 5'11", 190 pounds, and Rogers has been looking very good tonight and has come up with a 1st and goal fumble recovery, and the ball is spotted at the 7-yard line. So again, Lakewood has yet to advance the ball into the Saxon territory. 11 and a half minutes remaining in this second quarter of play. Still no score in tonight's ball game. Up to the line they come. As Welch takes the snap, hands it off to the right side, and it goes to Mays. The ball is loose, and it's going to be the Vikings coming up with it at the 10-yard line. So a fumble and a pickup of 3 yards on the play, as it is Paul Sowers, a senior, 6 feet tall, 197 pounds, number 71 on his jersey. Offensive tackle, good heads-up play, which did prevent Hastings coming up with the ball again, 1st and goal. Up to the line they come. On 2nd and 7, Welch barking out the signals, takes a snap, hands it off for Mays around the right side, and he will bang forward for a pickup of maybe 6 yards. As well, we spotted at the 16. He needed to reach the 17 for the first down. As a little slow to get up that time was Dan Mays, the senior, who ran the play on the last play. It is going to be close once again and again. We'll be bringing the chains in from the far side.
I don't know. Has Lakewood gone to the air yet? Hastings has only gone once. I don't know if Lakewood's even passed yet.
Chains are stretched out, and this time it is not good. This will bring up a third and maybe half a foot to go as the Saxons will have to dig in defensively and try to once again get the ball in super field position. As up to the line they will come, as normally they've been going to Dan Mays. We'll see who Bill Welch, the quarterback, will be going to on this play. Both ends in tight this time, taking the snap. Welch will keep it himself, and it will be good for a first down as he bangs his way out to the 18-yard line. Picked up of a couple yards in the last play, and we'll be looking now at a 1st and 10 situation, the third first down of the ball game for Lakewood. We have now 10:33 as the clock begins to run as the chains are set over on the far side. Bill Welch at quarterback, the senior, goes 6 feet, 152 pounds, brings his troops up to the line, looking over this Saxon defense, putting his troops down, barking out the signals, takes the snap, hands it off around the left side, and the Saxons are going to eat him alive. Gathering the ball was Rick Foreman, and he scrambled around the left side, and Foreman is no small athlete. Rob Van Ingen led the charge for the Saxon. Foreman is only a sophomore and tips the scales at a dainty 198 pounds.
That was another good lateral pursuit play by the Saxons. They're running from one side of the field to another with great speed. Quickness is the name of the game.
Van Ingen on the last play was outweighed by a total of 35 pounds, and he just wrestled him down to the ground, holding him up and allowing his troops to come in and help out on the tackle, and causing a loss of 4. This time they'll run around the right side. There's a flag on the play, and let's see what they're going to call it. A pickup of about a yard on the play. It was 2nd and 14. I think it's going to be a face. For the first time, there's going to be a personal foul, a face mask against the Saxons. So Lakewood will come up with their 4th first down of the ball game. This one coming via the penalty, as on a 2nd and 14, a 15-yarder is walked off, giving them enough for a first down with a yard to spare. The ball is spotted now at the 31-yard line, and Lakewood, this is their best field position, their own 31.
And Lakewood and Hastings, that's Hastings' first penalty, but all the penalties have come at important times. He might have had a 3rd and 12 yet, and moved the ball right up first down. Best field position they've had all night.
Okay, up to the line they come. The ball is spotted at the 31-yard line. Both ends in tight, running under the wishbone. Bill Welch takes a snap, hands it off to the first man through, and running it once again is the hefty Rick Foreman, only a sophomore, and pretty much lost his footing. It didn't look like he was hit that hard.
He just slipped on the grass. He looked like he tried to make his cut a little bit too sharp from here, and it's going to happen to you.
He's going to be a man to watch for Lakewood in the future. Rick Foreman, 5'7", 198 pounds. He runs out of the right side of the wishbone. Bill Welch brings him down. He has both men in tight, takes a snap, and the ball is coughed up, and again, it's the Saxons recovering. We have the 3rd turnover of the ball game. Hastings has come up with 2 fumbles. Van Ingen recovering for the Saxons, and Lakewood has come up with 1 very key fumble recovery.
It's a lot of mistakes. It's a carbon copy of last year's Lakewood game. Hastings' offensive line was making mistakes, and Lakewood's offensive backfield was making mistakes. So it's happening again.
First down. Ball is spotted at the 38-yard line in Lakewood territory. Karpinski takes a snap, and again a fumble, and again a turnover. The 4th turnover of this first half of play. Both teams have lost the ball twice. And one other time Lakewood fumbled, however, they did recover it themselves. So out of the 5 fumbles, only once has the team recovered their own fumble.
It looked like Brad King got by faster than Karpinski thought he would on that play. Karpinski was handing off to no one, and the ball is just there, and anyone can jump on it.
8:08 and the clock runs in this scoreless second quarter of play. This time they have a man wide to the left side. That's Kyle Chase. Putting him down, it's Bill Welch. Welch takes the snap, hands it off through the middle, and the Saxons stop Greg Hummel right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe give him credit for a pickup of 1. We're looking now at a 2nd and 9 situation, as leading the charge for the Saxons is again Chuck Helmer, the senior, who goes 6'2", 217 pounds. With that kind of frame, you have to demand some respect.
And he's going to get it too in the Twin Valley this year, I'm sure. He and Butch Armour both. They're 2 great tackles.
This time, for the first time, the Vikings not running out of the wishbone. Rolling around the right side to is Welch, and he pitches it back to Mays. Mays cuts in, and he is going to be dropped for a loss of 2. As you have to give Mays a lot of credit. He could have very easily been dropped for a loss of maybe 6 to 8 yards.
It looked like a little arm tackling there, and Mays just kept his feet moving. And if you don't have a good hold on those legs, you're not going to drag a guy that big down.
Okay, we're looking at a 3rd and 11 situation as the ball is spotted at the 39-yard line with now 6:53 in the second period. Wide to the left side is Kyle Chase, the senior. And at quarterback, it's senior Bill Welch putting his troops down, running out of the wishbone this time, taking the snap, handing it off, or faking a handoff to the second man through. Wobbling pass is intercepted. It is not intercepted, hitting Bob Tunison, the senior, right in the numbers, and he just couldn't hold on. I think he was probably too surprised, as the pass was just a strike right to Tunison, all by himself at the 43-yard line, and he didn't have much but green grass in front of him.
He was gone. Tunison has great speed for a fullback. Let's see what Karpinski can do with these troops now.
Okay, we're looking at a 4th and 11, and again, Lakewood will be forced to punt. There's a good snap from center, and the kick is away. As a fair catch is called for, and the Saxons, Ed Maurer gathering the ball in, and he was knocked down by his own Mark Smith. So the Saxons taking over what is the worst field position of the night, and that's up to their own 35-yard line. That has to tell you a little something about the possession and position advantage that the Saxons have had in tonight's ballgame.
I'm sure Coach Karpinski's had a few words with John, and I'm sure John's going to be out there really moving the team this time. Let's see what he can do with them.
Okay, it's John Karpinski, the sophomore quarterback, handing it off over the right side, and it's Brad King, the junior, banging his way out to the 36-yard line. Pickup of a couple yards. We'll call it 2nd and long 8 now with 6 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the scoreless first half of play. Up to the line come the Saxons, which is their own 36.5-yard line. With it, it's Karpinski taking the snap, rolling around to his right side, brilliantly dodging one man, looking downfield, tucking it under his wing, and running it down to the 38-yard line. A pickup of another couple of yards, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock with 5:57 remaining in this first half of play. And for the sophomore, he showed some definite poise, rambling around the right side and getting around one would-be Lakewood tackler.
Tunison made an excellent hit on that man. It was close to a cliff. It's something you're not going to do often in that kind of field position. Move yourself back to your own 10 or 15.
On the reverse, coming around the right side, the Saxons across the 45 and diving forward to the 48-yard line. Van Ingen, brilliant dive forward for a first down. 1st and 10 for the Saxons. Now 5:51. The clock is stopped momentarily while they move the chains over on the far side. 1st and 10 from the Saxon 48-yard line. Up to the line come the Saxons. At quarterback, it's Karpinski. Karpinski, 2 men wide to the left side, handing it off through the middle, and the Saxons once again are in Lakewood territory as the ball is advanced to the 47-yard line. A pickup of the long 4 on the play. There's a little pushing and shoving going on deep on the play, and the man for Hastings who was being pushed and shoved was Chuck Helmer, 6'2", 217 pounds. Someone just wasn't paying attention to what they were doing. 2 men wide to the left side as the handoff goes through the middle, and the ball is loose again, and again it appears that this time the Saxons recovered their own fumble as Karpinski, the quarterback, coming diving forward, the sophomore recovering the fumble as the Saxons had the ball down to the 44-yard line, and the ball, however, coughed up and recovered at the 47.5-yard line. That is the 6th fumble of the ball game. 3 for each team. Both teams have turned it over twice. At quarterback, it's Karpinski rolling around the right side, looking downfield, firing at the last possible moment, and it is intercepted, but out of bounds. Out of bounds. And that's one that could have gone either way. As the man was in the air, he was bumped by the Saxon intended receiver downfield. Call that could have gone either way, and it will be the Saxons retaining possession of the ball. 4th and 6. The ball spotted now a little closer to their own 48-yard line.
Karpinski just needed a little more time. He had Jerry Cook where he wanted him. Jerry was down there in the open. He ran a brilliant pass pattern, and Karpinski just didn't have the time he needed to get it away. He was on the run.
Going back to receive is number 1 for Lakewood, who is not on our program, and we'll pass that name along to you in just a moment. There's the kick, and Tony Norris, number 1, watches the ball bounce at the 24 and rolled at about the 22-yard line as Jerry Cook downing downfield for the Saxons. Hastings. The ball is spotted at about the 22-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. 4:28 remaining as the Saxons digging in defensively. Lakewood has not had the ball in Saxon territory all evening long. And that has to tell you a little bit about this defensive effort we've seen from the goal prize. Up to the line comes the Vikings. With it, it's Bill Welch. Out of the wishbone and a broken play. Welch is going to have to eat the ball, and he'll dive forward for maybe a pickup of a yard. Not much more, as it'll be spotted between the 22 and 23-yard line. We're looking at a 2nd and 9 situation. With now 3:52 and the clock is running. And this is the second period of play. Still a scoreless ball game. As you recall, last year it was a 6-0 ball game up at Lakewood. Going wide to the left side for Lakewood, number 18, Scott Ford. Welch hands it off over the right side. Mays gets it out to the 25-yard line. And the 26 will mark the spot of score progress. We're looking at a 3rd and 4, or 3rd and a 6 situation. With 3:10. 3:05 remaining in the second quarter. A scoreless first half of play. Bill Welch, quarterback, has one man wide to the right side, running out of the wishbone, pitching it back to Mays. Mays will try to turn the corner, and he'll pick up about 4 yards on the play before he's finally upended by a host of the Saxons. Leading the charge was Wendell Armour, a senior, 6'2", 200 pounds. So the Saxons, both their defensive tackles going 6'2", one at 215, and the other at 200 pounds. And with this size, the Saxons having a very strong advantage in tonight's ball game on the line. As there's the snap, and the ball is kicked, and it's away. And the Saxons will field it at their own 43-yard line. And making the tackle is Norris. 1st and 10 for the Saxons from their own 43.
That was Phil Martin fielding that punt. I think he misjudged it a little at first, but Phil made a good stop on the ball, didn't let it get by him, concentrating on it.
Ball's at the 43, 1st and 10 for the Saxons. As Hastings has a total of some 57 yards to go in order to put something on the scoreboard if we're to have any scoring in this first half of play. Up the line, leading the charge for Hastings is a new quarterback.
Nelson Rapolgo's now in for the Saxons. He's a senior, 5'11", and 175 pounds.
Rapolgo hands off over the left side. The Saxons will get back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more, picking up maybe about the length of the ball. And we have a minute 45 remaining in the second quarter of play. 2nd and a long 9 now for the Saxons. As we mentioned, Rapolgo is in at quarterback. The senior goes 5'11", 165 pounds. One man split wide to the right side as Rapolgo goes back to pass. It looks like a screen as it is deflected. Brilliant defensive effort on the part of Paul Sowers, number 71.
John Karpinski's a very quick quarterback on the option, but when you want the arm in there, you need Nelson Rapolgo. He's a great passer. He's He's taking over for Mike Colgrove, who last year did the passing and the punting, and now playing college ball. So tough shoes to follow there.
Right, John, Chris, the ball is spotted at the 44-yard line. We're looking at 1:24 remaining on the clock. As Rapogel, it can't be much of a secret. This is a passing situation. Two men wide to the right side, running out of the eye. Rapogel goes back to pass. He gets away from one tackler, the second tackler, and the third man gets him, throwing him for a loss of some 17, 18 yards. And this will bring up a fourth and long situation. Timeout is called by Lakewood. We'll pause for this word from Burger Chef.
When you feel like something different,
I feel like a movie.
when you feel like something nice,
I feel like onions.
when you feel like more of what you want,
Onions?
without an extra price.
Yeah, onions. And lettuce and tomatoes and extra pickle.
Feel like a burger chef,
And a guy comes up to me and says, I feel like pickles.
feel like a burger chef.
And I says, that's funny, you sure don't look like pickles.
When you feel like more than a burger on a bun, we're the only place that lets you feel like a burger chef.
I'll have a salad.
Only we can make you feel this way.
I'll have a fun meal.
Make any day a special day. No one gives you quite so much. Every burger chef has a special touch. Feel like a burger chef.
Whether you feel like a salad or a fun meal feast or your own special touch at our Works Bar, you get a lot more than a burger on a bun when you feel like a burger chef.
We're the only place that lets
I
you
feel like a burger chef.
feel like a burger chef.
And you said you felt like a movie.
Back, there's the snap, and it's going to be a fairly short kick, and the two Vikings run into each other and dive forward to the 44-yard line. This will be the best starting field position that the Vikings will take over with, as the ball will be spotted at their own 44-yard line, where it'll be with third ball, first and 10. They now have a total of some 56-yard lines if they want to put anything on the scoreboard.
Let's see what Welch can do here with his troops. He's taking over for Dave Durkee. Welch is in.
Okay, up to the line they come. Bill Welch at quarterback. Two men wide to the right, two men wide to the left. One man, a lone man back in the backfield along with Welch. Welch takes a snap, looks downfield, fires. It's intercepted by the Saxons. Cross their own 50-yard line. The 40, the 35, and run out of bounds. Getting out of bounds brilliantly as the ball will be spotted at the 40, or check it, the 33-yard line. For the Saxons, intercepting it is Dave Rugg. This senior goes 5'11", 160 pounds. Brilliant defensive effort as he gathered that ball in at about his own 40-yard line and advances it back to the 33. First and 10 for the Saxons with 34 seconds remaining. Rapogel will have time to wing a few ones downfield and see what he can do. Downfield they come. Rapogel has two men wide to the right side. Looking downfield, firing it. Rapogel, and it goes incomplete over the outstretched hands of Rob Benningen, the senior. Just couldn't come down with that one as it was thrown where it was either going to be incomplete and out of bounds or else pickup of some 8 yards. 30 seconds remaining now in the ball game. That play took just 6 seconds. Second and 10 from the 33-yard line in Lakewood territory. Up to the line they come. Two men wide to the right side. Looking downfield is Rapogel, and he is going to be dumped. Breaking in was Jim Berenwald, a junior And you have to give Lakewood a lot of credit as they are really breaking through this Saxon line. And we're going to take just a moment here to tell you that one of the most exciting seasons of the year is upon us, fall. And with it comes the football season, changing colors and some great new looks in men's clothing from Cleveland's Menswear in Hastings. The look this fall is casual and comfortable sweaters, slacks, velours, cords, jeans, flannels, and blends of natural fibers and carefree polyesters. For those crisp fall days and evenings, Cleveland's has a large selection of coats and jackets in a wide variety of styles, including varsity jackets in your school colors. When the occasion calls for something more, the selection of suits, sport coats, and accessories at Cleveland's are sure to include the look that is you. This fall, affordable quality is at Cleveland's Menswear in Hastings. Cleveland's Menswear has 4 other locations in Mount Pleasant, Ionia, Easttown Mall, and Kalamazoo, and there's a Cleveland's Holbrooks in Marshall, too. Men, if you want to be on top of things and look sharp this fall, come and shop at Cleveland's Menswear Hastings or any of their other 4 locations. Downfield they look, firing it downfield, and it's complete. Across the 24, the 20, and down to the 18-yard line. First and 10 for the Saxons. 12 seconds remaining. Timeout is called by the Saxons. The Saxons driving downfield, and with the timeout, let's bring you this word from Bosley Pharmacy, located at 118 South Jefferson in Hastings, where pharmacy is a profession, not a sideline. Bosley Pharmacy has a card and a gift department, along with a complete line of health and beauty aids to select from. Bosley Pharmacy also offers a complete room, which is called the Department Sick Room, which features sick room supplies, which carries wheelchairs, crutches, and other hospital apparatus and supplies. For all of your prescriptions, come into Bosley Pharmacy, where pharmacy is a profession, not a sideline. And for other drugstore needs, shop Bosley Pharmacy in Hastings at 118 South Jefferson Street. Bosley Pharmacy would like to wish all of the young men on the Hastings Saxon football team good luck and a good season. Attempting a field goal, it's long enough, it's up and it's good. The Hastings Saxons take the first lead of the ball game, a 3-0 lead, as the ball was spotted at the 26-yard line. That was a 36-yard field goal for the Saxons, and Hastings leads it 3-0.
For McMahon, it was just to step up to the ball and kick it. McConnell made another good snap right into Phil Martin's hands. Phil did everything just like he should. Perfect execution.
Okay, it's the Hastings Saxons who lead it now 3-0, and with the type of defensive ball we've been seeing, it just could be the final score of the ball game, and I'm sure that head coach Karpinski would be satisfied with the 3-0 win, the way this ball game's been going. It's a very strong defensive ball game. We've had 6 fumbles in the first half of play.
McMahon now getting set to kick off. I'm sure that Coach Karpinski would like to get a win right here on the scoreboard. Lakewood is such an important game. Like you said, it doesn't mean anything in the conference, but the spirit it gives these guys is just tremendous.
Okay, going back to kick for the Saxons, it's number 7, Kevin McMahon, the senior, 5'10", 162 pounds, waiting the whistle. There it is, and McMahon approaches the ball. There's the foot, and it's a squib kick, bouncing across to the 32, where Lakewood picks it up, and diving forward to the 37-yard line is Rick Foreman, the sophomore, 5'7", 198 pounds. 2 seconds remaining in this, the first half of play, which sees the Saxons of Hastings leading it by a score of 3-0. A very tight defensive ball game, as Hastings been very effective keeping Lakewood in their own territory, as Lakewood has not crossed the midfield stripe. That ends the first half of play, as Lakewood trails to the Hastings Saxons by a score now of 3-0. And while we have just a moment here in our halftime program, let's remind you that the name for sports in Hastings, Leary Sports Center, located at 123 East State Street. The team equipment specialists have a complete line of athletic equipment for football, basketball, soccer, racquetball, and tennis. Leary Sports Center carries nationally known brands at considerably low prices. But that's not all. Leary's also carries a large selection And as you can hear, those were the numbers that were played, and they were truly your Hastings Marching Saxons performing very fine here in the opening game halftime program. Let's take a look.
The only 3 points to show this ball game, and like I said before, he's just an excellent kicker, soccer style.
Okay, for Lakewood, back joining Norris will be number 82, and 82 for the Saxons is Keith McDonald, a senior, and also going deep for the Vikings will be number 5, and that's Perry Strimback, a senior. So the Saxons will be kicking to some experience as we'll have 3 seniors back there waiting the kick off the foot of the Saxons, Kevin McMahon.
I wonder if Coach Sidebottom of the Lakewood Vikings is going to dare try to open it up early with an unexperienced quarterback in. He doesn't have Dave Durkee, who I'm sure he would love to have in there right now, and I don't know what he's going to do.
Okay, for the Saxons, it was a matter of the 2 Ps, possession and position, primarily position, as they just continued to take the ball over in superb field position. And it was Dave Rugg who intercepted the ball at his own between 35 and 40-yard line and advanced the ball down to the 33 that allowed the Saxons to get close enough for the field goal. Ball is going to be fumbled and picked up again at the 8, across 15, the 20, and he's going to be upended at the 22-yard line. Getting the ball in was Strimback, and the Saxons making the stop at the 22.
Paul Smith made an excellent hit there. Paul's not real big, but he's awful strong. He won the Golden Sax Award this year, which is an award the coaches give out at the beginning of the year for quickness and strength, and Paul's out there to hit.
Paul's only a junior. He goes 5'9", 175 pounds. He's going to be a good one for the Saxons. One man wide to the left side, running out of the wishbone. Putting him down is Welch. Welch takes the snap and hands it off over the right side, and the Saxons will allow them to get out to about the 25-yard line, pick up at some 3 yards. We're now looking at a 2nd and 7 with 11 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this, the 3rd quarter of play, which sees the Saxons leading it by a score of 3-0 after a 36-yard field goal. Bringing him up is Bill Welch, the senior, puts him down. Both ends in tight this time. Takes it, gives it to the second man through, and that is Mays. And Mays is going to be upended after picking up maybe 4 yards. And we're going to be looking now at a 3rd and a long 3 with 10:48 and the clock is running in this, the 3rd quarter of play. 3rd and a long 3 as the Saxons watch running off the field Drew Marks as the plays are coming in from the bench by way of the tight end. Going wide to the left side now is Scott Foreman. Welch puts him down, running out of the wishbone. And again a long count, hands it off to the first man through, and it is going to be very close to a first down as they get it out to about the 32-yard line. And I would say they've got it by just a matter of inches. It's going to be close enough where I believe they're going to be bringing the chains out, and the head referee says that that's exactly what he wants to do.
This is going to be awfully close to a first down. Personally, I don't think they made it, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Ball's at about the 22-yard line, or 32-yard line. The series originated from the 22, and we'll see just exactly how close it is. The chains are stretched, and it's good, but only by about 4 inches.
I could be wrong.
Okay, so that's the first down of this, the second half of play. 10:10 remaining on the clock. The clock now starts to run after the official timeout to bring the chains in from the far side. This time both ends are in tight. There's the snap, and the handoff goes to the first man through. The Saxons are finally going to ride him down, and running like a low-running bull was Greg Hummel, a junior, 5'6", 173 pounds, and he deserves a lot of credit for those 8 yards that he picked up.
That's certainly not the Saxon defense we saw in the first half.
Right, you are, Chris. We're looking now at a 2nd and 2 situation as the Vikings were unable to mount this sort of a drive here in the first half of play. They're showing a little more poise and showing possibly a little more quickness after long counts. at quarterback. It's Welch, takes a snap, hands it off to the third man through, and he is going to be dumped after a pickup of about a yard. We'll be looking now at a 3rd and 1.
You know, the thing that makes this such a rivalry, the first week of school, all the sports play Lakewood. Boys golf team defeated them last night. Girls basketball scrimmaged them. This football game is just so important. It ends up a week of Hastings against Lakewood.
Okay, and we'll see if Hastings can't cap it off with the win here tonight as they own the scoreboard at this point in time. 3-0 is the score, but Lakewood is beginning to mount something of a drive as they picked up 10 yards in the first series, and they've got 9 so far. There goes around the left side, and he gets across midfield stripe and down to the 49-yard line for the first time tonight. Lakewood has penetrated the ball into Hastings territory.
The Saxons were caught off guard there. They went on a quick count, something the defense wasn't ready for.
Okay, the ball is spotted at the 49 in Hastings territory. 1st and 10 for the Vikings, and we have 8:33. The clock is ticking away in this 3rd period of play. It's the Vikings now who have their best drive of the game going. Down they go. Welch takes a snap, keeps it himself, and he is going to be dumped after a pickup of maybe a yard. Leading the charge for the Saxons, it is number 77, Chuck Helmer, who goes a mere 6'2", 217 pounds. The senior is one of the mainstays defensively for the Saxons.
He's gonna do a lot for the offense they have in defense through this whole Twin Valley season. If they can keep running his way, and then when they expect him to go that way, they can come right back and go Armor's way and still get the same yardage.
Okay, we're looking now at a 2nd and 8 situation after a 2-yard pickup by Welsh on the last play. Both ends in tight this time. Handoff goes to the left. First man through. Hummel will pick up maybe 4 yards. We'll see where the unpilot. It's going to be the 44-yard line. We'll be looking now at a 3rd, a long 4, with 7:33 remaining in this. The 3rd period of play. Trotting off the field now is Randy Shoemaker. Goes at offensive guard, and it's kind of unusual. Normally when the plays come in from the bench, it is just one position, either a halfback or an end or a guard bringing them in and out. But over on the far sides, they've been bringing it in through either halfbacks, ends, or guards. The ball is loose. Let's see. It is Hastings. The Saxons have forced the 7th fumble of the ball game. 4 of them against Lakewood, 3 against Hastings. And it's none other than Helmer coming up with the loose ball.
You just suspected it. You had to know Helmer was going to come up with that. He's out there to play, and he wants to beat Lakewood.
As the sign says before us, just behind the cheerleaders, 9-0. Here we go. The first one obviously has to be tonight to come up with that perfect season. 2 men wide to the left side as Karpinski hands it off through the middle, and the Saxons are going to be dumped for a loss of maybe about the length of the ball. So we'll be looking at about a 2nd, we'll still call it 2nd, and now a long 10, with 6:36 remaining in this, the 3rd period of play. 3-0 is the score. The Saxons leading it, and up to the line they come, starting this play from their own 41-yard line. 2 men wide to the right side. Handoff goes to the first man as the Saxons will get forward to their own 48-yard line. Pick up on the play of about 7 yards. We're looking now at a 3rd and 3.
I don't know if I've ever seen a fullback as quick through the hole as Tunison. He really accelerates.
Excellent athlete for the Saxons. 2 men to the left side this time as the quarterback puts him down. Karpinski hands it off to the 2nd man through, and King is going to get the first down by way of 2nd effort. He has it by at least the length of the ball, and it will be the Saxons' first down of the 2nd half of play. With 5:51, the clock is stopped momentarily while they move the chain gang over on the far side. Ball is at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Saxons, once again penetrating in Lakewood territory. Up to the line come the Saxons as the Vikings dig in defensively. 2 men wide to the left side as quarterback hands it off to the first man through, and it is Bob Tunison who is going to be dumped right at the line of scrimmage, and maybe even a loss of a foot. We're looking now at a 2nd and a long 10 for the Saxons. With 5:25, the clock is running here at Hastings. Last year the game was played at Lakewood, and they shut out the Saxons. This year it's played here at Hastings, and Hastings is shutting out the Vikings. Up to the line they come, 2 ends to the left side. As on the counter, the Saxons are going to be dumped for a loss of about a yard. There is a flag on the play, and I would be afraid that it might be a 15-yarder against the Saxons.
It's the way it looks. It's always the call you got to assume when it's in this situation. Right up at the line of scrimmage, you see the flag go down. The only other thing it possibly be is a face mask, and I see they're talking to Lakewood now, so I'm going to call it back. Push the Saxons back away.
Randy Shoemaker, the defensive captain for Lakewood, looking over the situation, and we were looking at a 2nd and 11. They're going to walk this one off as they mark it off from the Saxon 48, moving it clear back to the Saxon 33, and staying in the ball game. The quarterback is John Krapinski, the sophomore, 5'9", 145 pounds. Ball's at the, we'll call it the 34-yard line now of the Saxons. And second, some 27 yards to go now. Going back on the draw, the Saxons are going to be eaten alive as it's going to be a loss of about 4 yards back to the 30-yard line. And when it rains, it pours, and things aren't going well offensively right now for the Saxons.
I think they should just leave Karpinski in now. Let him work a little longer. Let him get this team straightened around. They made that penalty was very costly, and he's got to get the team's momentum turned around.
5th-year head coach Karpinski walking along the near sidelines. There's the pitch out to King. King across the 30, out to the 35-yard line, and he dives forward to the 36-yard line before he's upended. We're looking now at a 3rd and long situation. We'll make it 4th and long as the ball is spotted at the 36-yard line. A pickup of 6 yards, and we see 4th and 26 on the scoreboard, and a very obvious punting situation for the Saxons from their own 36-yard line. Going deep is Norris, number 1. Going deep for the Saxons and getting a good kick away, just getting away. Norris gathers it in at his own 26, coming around the right side, the wrong way to go, and he's going to be dumped at about the 30, maybe the 31-yard line, as he had 3 men in front of him on the right side, but evidently that was called in the huddle, and he evidently didn't have any choice in the matter, as the left side was just wide open.
Reardon did an excellent job getting that kickoff. He had people all over him there, and he got a good punt off, too.
Dave Reardon, a senior, 5'10", 180 pounds, getting that kick away under rather enormous pressure with 3:40 remaining in this 3rd quarter of play. It's still a 3-0 ball game. Hastings leading it. Vikings taking over from their own 30. He's across to the 38 and the 39-yard line before he's finally upended. Carrying the ball was Greg Hummel, a junior, 5'6", 173 pounds, very quickly breaking through the right side of the line.
They're running right at Helmer. No, they're running at Armour now. That could be the problem. They finally must have realized don't go at Helmer.
Okay, we're looking now at a 2nd and 2 situation for Lakewood. Lakewood has appeared to be a much stronger second-half team thus far in the ball game. As Welch hands it off to the first man through, and it is going to be stopped at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 1, but we're still going to be looking now at about a 3rd and 1 situation with 2:45 remaining. And a pickup of 1, we're looking at a 3rd and 1 situation. Now trotting out of the ball game is Tony Kidder, and this time it's the tackles who are bringing the plays in and out.
Well, as soon as I said that, they ran at Butch, and he made a good play getting that tackle, not letting them get the first down. So you can't knock down either of these tackles for Hastings.
Handoff goes over the left side, and the ball is coughed up. The Saxons have it across the 40, the 35, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown! Hastings has a 6-pointer on the board. However, there is a flag on the play. A flag on the play resting at the 39-yard line. Now, let's see. No, it is not a flag. It is an arm protector, an arm pad. So it is a touchdown for the Hastings Saxons as Hastings gathering in a fumble as the 8th fumble of the ball game. Mark Smith gathering it in and rambling into the end zone.
Boy, I didn't know Smith had that much speed. He's a big guy, fullback linebacker.
Going back to the extra point attempt is Kevin McMahon as the Saxons now lead it 9-0 as McMahon. Waiting. Spotted. It's It's up, and it is good. No, they say it is wide right, so the score will remain 9-0, and 9 points with the type of defensive ball game we've been having could be very, very difficult to overcome.
I don't think McMahon quite agreed with that call. He had a few words to say to the official. I think he thought it was good. It was another good snap from McConnell to Martin, right on the money, and I guess McMahon must have just pulled it.
The head coach have a few words and question something on the last play.
I don't know what he'd be questioning. I'd be thankful.
Okay, the ball will be teed up at the 40-yard line, and that is where McMahon will put the foot into the football. Connected on a 36-yard field goal in the first half, and now missing the extra point attempt. 9-0 is the score. 2:14 remaining in the third quarter of play. Hastings scoring in the second and third quarters of play. McMahon gets the whistle from the official, approaches the ball, and will play. As it is going to be a short one, fielded at the 16. Norris out across the 20, the 25, spins to the 29-yard line before he's finally upended, and it will be Lakewood taking over first and 10 from that point of play. 2:09 remaining in this, the third period of play. The Saxons in defensive play, and let's hope that they can continue to show that fine defense that we've seen throughout the first half of play. Here in the third period, the defenses look like they've let down just a little bit. One thing that possibly could have caused that is the fact that Bill Welch has been mixing up his calls very well. Going to long counts and then suddenly a quick one. Pitch out after a long count around the left side. Mays is going to be dumped at the 31 to 32-yard line. Pick up of 3 yards. Good lateral pursuit. The big man over there, Chuck Helmer, 217 pounds, finally ushering him to the ground.
Dave Baum did an excellent job evading that block right there. It was coming right at him. He just jumped over and Baum with good speed from the side, got up there and got the initial hit, and Helmer came over to help drag him down.
Okay, we're looking at a 2nd and 7 situation with 1:18. The clock is ticking away in the third period of play. Lakewood running him out of the out of the wishbone. One man wide to the right side as Welch goes back to pass, looking downfield, has a man open, and he overthrows him, goes incomplete, and just after he got it away, he was decked well. Coming in was Paul Smith. Along with him, I believe it was Dave Rudd.
That's right. They both blindsided him, and they really nailed him hard. Lakewood can't afford to lose another quarterback. They just can't do that right now. Like you said, this is a big rivalry, but I wouldn't judge how the Saxons are playing and compare it to how they're going to do in the Twin Valley season, because the emotion is totally different for Lakewood than any other team.
Okay, one man, Foreman, wide to the right side, again out of the wishbone. Welch puts him down, takes a snap, and drops again back to pass, looking downfield. He loses the ball, and it's going to be ruled as an incomplete forward pass, as it was knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. We'll now be looking at a 4th and 7 situation, and being blindsided like that last time, you have to be listening for footsteps.
You sure do. I think he knew they were coming. The Saxons were rushing well on that play again, and I think this next drive is going to be a key one for Hastings. If they can score again, it might be all over.
Okay, the Saxons, 2 men deep, and it is John Karpinski, the quarterback, and he's joined back there with Brad King. There's a kick, and it's a very high, wobbly kick. Fair catch is called, and he loses the ball. The Saxons, however, will fall on it. Ed Maurer, fine heads-up play, as losing it was Brad King, but Maurer, very heads-up play, diving on it, and it was Norris, the specialty team man, making the tackle secure for Lakewood.
That was a good play by Eddie Maurer. He was right on the scene, just like he should be. In case that fair catch is fumbled, you got to have someone around there to pick it up.
Okay, we're looking at a 1st and 10 for the Saxons as they'll start this particular drive from their own 36-yard line. This time, the Saxons will elect to have men split wide on both sides. Pitch out goes to King. King across the 35, the 40. There's a flag out to the 44, maybe the 45-yard line. As I mentioned, there's a flag in the backfield, and that will most likely be a 15-yarder walked off against Hastings. But before we say so, we'll see exactly what the head official is going to rule it. As the flag is rusting, at the 33-yard line. So instead of a pickup of about 7 yards, it looks like the Saxons are going to be thrown for 15 yards in penalties and a loss of 3 yards on where the flag actually fell. So it is going to be a loss on the play of 18, plus you add in the loss of the 7 yards that he had picked up. So that one holding penalty, which I really don't think was really needed. It wasn't a key in the play. It cost the Saxons 25 yards.
King was so fast, he was already out around the end when the hold came up, and like you said, it was unnecessary.
And off through the middle, the Saxons dive forward, and they'll get it out to the 24-yard line. After a 1st and 27, the ball will be spotted at the 23, and the pickup of some 5 yards on the last play. The ball had been back at the 19-yard line, which is the deepest the ball has been spotted in Hastings territory.
I think they might just wait 10 seconds if they got the time. I don't know. They're going to get the play off.
King, or Komprinsky rather, keeps the ball, and he dives forward across the 31-yard line. Pickup of about 7 yards. That ends the third quarter of play. And we'd like to let you know that you're cordially invited to Hastings' finest restaurant, the Tikai restaurant, that has the finest in dining and cocktails for a night of enjoyment and pleasure. Tikai is dedicated to service and good food with a leisurely dining by candlelight setting. Tikai has a luncheon menu of special sandwiches, soups, and salads at a very reasonable price. They also have a daily luncheon special. Just ask your waitress about it when you come in to dine at the Tikai. For the dinner menu, Tikai has a variety of steak, chicken, and fish, something for everyone's taste buds to enjoy and also to afford. For a night out of fine dining, good food, and your favorite cocktail, come to the Tikai restaurant located at 128 South Jefferson Street in Hastings. Up to the line they come. Karpinski moving about the men wide on both sides. He keeps it himself and will dive forward for a pickup of about another 4 yards. We'll be looking at a 4th and still long as the ball will be spotted at the 34, bringing up a 4th and 12 as they started this particular series, looking at a 1st and 27. So they picked up 15 of those yards, but it's difficult to come up with the full 27 yards in 3 plays. The Saxons forced into a punting situation as Dave Rudin goes back, gets a good snap from center, heavy rush, gets a kick away, bounces across the 40, the 35, down to the 33, the 32, and the 31-yard line, and they'll mark it back to the 32 as a good heads-up move by the official as the ball was touched at the 32 and spotted at the 31. Good heads-up move by the Saxons. You can't lose anything, and the official was there and moved it back to the 32.
Dean McConnell snapped the ball, and he always gets down there in a hurry. He's ready to down that ball if no one catches it. I think Dean did what anyone would have done in that situation.
Okay, we're looking at a 1st and 10. Ball is spotted at about the 31 or 32-yard line. In Saxon defensive platoon digging in. Lakewood in their own territory, looking at 11:08 remaining in the ball game. There's the snap, and the handoff goes to the first man through, and the Saxons are going to be stopping it after a pickup of maybe a couple yards as they'll get it out somewhere between the 43 and 44-yard line. We're looking at a 2nd and 8 situation facing the Saxons defensively and Lakewood offensively. And shoveling out of the ball game is Randy Shoemaker. Coming in is Tony Kidder for Lakewood as the play is coming in from the sidelines. As Kidder wearing number 74, however, he's playing guard position, normally a tackle number. Handoff goes right through the middle, and the Saxons will yield about 4 yards on the play. We'll now be looking at a 3rd and 3 situation. 10:20 remaining in this, the final quarter of play. Official timeout has been called as we have an injured player on the field. I'd like to let you know that the insurance companies do differ from one another. So do the policies they offer. Take it from us. We're independent insurance agents at the Strickland Insurance Agency, which means we don't work for just one insurance company. We can place your car, home, business, or life insurance with any of several reliable companies we deal with. This is what gives us clout. We can negotiate in your behalf, picking and choosing the coverage that suits your needs best. We're also members of the network of 126,000 Big One agents countrywide. So you have access to sound insurance knowledge anywhere in the United States. And we not only sell you the policy, but we're there if you have a claim, helping you recover from your loss. You'll find us at Strickland Insurance Agency, located at 112 East Court Street in Hastings, at 945-3215. Give us a call. Timeout was called on the last play as Double was injured on the last play, but he did walk off the field under his own power.
That's always good to see. We don't need any more of these knee injuries or anything on high school students.
Welch hands it off to the first man through, and it is going to be good for a pickup of about 2, maybe even 2.5, and it was not enough for a first down, I don't believe. It's an important situation, so the official will bring the chain in, but I would have to say that it is not good by at least the length of the ball. And with only 10-10 remaining, we're going to have to see if Lakewood is going to be a little gutsy and maybe go for it. And they stretch the chains, and it's not enough for a first down, but I was very wrong by saying length of the ball. It was only about 3 inches.
It's a really deceiving view up here. And I'm surprised whoever ran the ball last was able to get up as fast as he could, because Helmer, again, really stuck him. I can't emphasize enough how Chuck Helmer is all over this field tonight. He's fired up for this game.
Very strong candidate for all conference honors in the rugged Twin Valley Conference. Up to the line they come. 4th and inches. Ball spotted at the 41-yard line. Quarterback keeper, and he is not going to get it. Whoa, let's see. Fine second effort. He just may. He was held up for what looked like a loss of a yard. The officials say that he did dive forward on fine second effort and picks up that first down, which was oh so necessary for Lakewood. Just beautiful second effort for 6 foot, 152-pound Bill Welch, the quarterback.
That second effort right there kept him in the ball game.
Up to the line they come. It's 1st and 10 now from the 42-yard line with 9:45. The clock is ticking away. Both ends in tight. Out of the wishbone. There's the snap and handoff around the right side. And Mays is going to dive forward for pickup of about 4, possibly even 5 yards, down to the 46-yard line in Lakewood territory. As Lakewood has been moving the ball much more effectively in this, the second half of play. We have a 9-0 score. 9:17 and the clock is running. First man out of the huddle is the center, Stuart Hirschberger, the senior, 5'8", 165 pounds. Lakewood, not a real large team, but they pride themselves on quickness, while Hastings has a definite size advantage as keeping it rolling around the right side and diving for what will be a pickup of about another 5 yards is the quarterback, Bill Welch. And I think for the second time in 2 series, we're going to have the chain brought out, and that's what the head official says. And when it's a situation like this, and it's this close, it doesn't cost anything. You might as well stop the clock and see just exactly how close it is.
In a drive as important as this, you always have to bring out the chains in this situation, even if it's first down.
Been very impressed by the officiating we're seeing here tonight at Hastings. A very fine job. This time it is short, and this time by maybe about 5 or 6 inches.
It's 3rd and 1. I think they might just go right back up the middle. Let the quarterback keep it.
Bill Welch, only 152 pounds, but he has kept the ball on many occasions, slipping and squirming through the middle of the line behind his 165-pound center, Hirschberger. We'll see what the Saxons can do on this particular play. 3rd and only about 5 inches now for Hastings defensively and Lakewood offensively. Running out of the wishbone, both ends in tight. Handoff goes to the second man through on the left side, and it's Mays. He's across the 45 and down to the 44-yard line. Advancing the ball a little deeper into Hastings territory, and this is the deepest we've seen Lakewood here in this quarter and possibly in the game.
Vikings are on the move. I just hope the defense can hold them here.
Okay, the ball is just across the 45-yard line by about the length of the ball, with just less than 8.5 minutes remaining. 9-0 is the score. Hastings leading the ball game in this season opener non-conference game, an old and bitter rivalry between these two ball clubs. Handoff goes to the middle, and this time the Saxons will only yield about 2 yards. We'll be looking at a 2nd and 8 as they'll unpile at about the 44-yard line, maybe the 43, as getting up off the bottom of the pile for Lakewood, running the ball was Tom Blessing, as Hummel came out of the ball game during the last time out under his own power, but he is not returned to the contest. Up to the line now come the Vikings as a quickie pass, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Mark Smith, who has already chalked up one touchdown tonight on a fumble recovery.
I think, like Tunison in the first half, Smith was surprised to have the ball right there, and if you're not expecting it, you're not going to catch it.
Okay, we're looking now at a 3rd and 8 situation, 7:44 remaining. Ball is spotted at the 43-yard line in Saxon territory. Up to the line they come. Both ends in tight, again running out of the wishbone. Welch puts his troops down, looks over defense, takes a snap, pitches it back around the left side. Foreman trying to turn the corner, and he is finally tripped up and ankled and dropped at the 39-yard line. Making the stop for the Saxons is Chuck Helmer, the senior, 6'2", 217 pounds, and you just have to give him an awful lot of credit as he outran one of the men in the backfield, and your backfield coaches will tell you that should never happen.
Well, I was talking to you about Tunison's speed, but for a guy 198 pounds, Foreman really got to the outside in a hurry.
Okay, we're looking now at a 4th and 4 situation, as obviously going for it will be the Vikings. 4th and 4 from the 39. Both ends in tight. Wise takes a snap, drops straight back, looking. Welch throws a screen, a beautiful setup, and they're down across the 30-yard line, enough for a first down, as you had to be able to tell that on that type of situation where you're able to get at the quarterback that easy, that you got to be smelling a screen.
You sure do, and I didn't think Hubble was coming back into this game, but he sure surprised everyone there.
We're looking now at a 1st and 10. The ball is the deepest Lakewood has been into Hastings territory, as it is spotted at the 30-yard line. Up to the line they come. Taking the snap is a quarterback, and he'll hand it off to Hummel. Hummel will bang his way down to the neighborhood of the 27-yard line, where we'll now be looking at a 2nd and 7. With now 6:36, the clock is running in this final quarter of play. 9-0 is the score. Lakewood is driving, but even with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, they're still shy by a single point. So Lakewood will have to get their hands on the ball a second time should they score here. 6:20 and the clock is running. Taking the snap, Welch hands it up to or keeps it rolling around the right side, and he'll dive forward to the 20 and stretches his torso down to the 19-yard line. Again, another first down for the Vikings. 6:09, the clock is stopped with the first down as the chain gang moves over on the far side of the field. 6:09 remaining. 9-0 is the score. Hastings leading, but it's Lakewood who has shown much better offensive powers here in the second half of play, and they're driving.
Good block there to spring the quarterback to the outside. It looked like the Saxons with their good lateral pursuit might be able to catch him for a loss.
Going at quarterback, it's Bill Welch, takes a snap, and they go through the middle. Hummel will bang forward for a pickup of maybe a couple yards. We'll be looking at about a 2nd and 8, I think it's 2nd and 7. Pickup of 3 as they get the ball down to the 17-yard line, as the Saxons beginning to bend a little, but so far they just haven't broken. With now 5 minutes, 35 seconds, the clock is running. At quarterback, Bill Welch puts him down, hands it off just at the last moment, and the Vikings will get it down to about the 12. Pick up on the play of about another 4 or 5 yards. We're looking at a 3rd and 2 situation with the Vikings slowly but surely grinding it out.
Welch did a good job making an accurate handoff. He was handing off as he was headed to the ground there. I was really impressed, but I'm impressed by Welch being a backup quarterback.
2 fine quarterbacks going at it tonight. Handoff, Mays, and he fumbles the ball, and Lakewood recovers it for a pickup of about another 5 yards, and we'll see if he was blown dead, and that's what the situation is, as it will be ball spotted at the 7-yard line as the play was blown dead before the fumble.
But it was a heads-up play by Drew Marks right there on top of things, just like Eddie Maurer was.
Okay, we're looking at 4:52 remaining in this final period of play. Lakewood coming up to the line. Again, running out of the wishbone, and there's flags as the entire backfield was off and running before the snap of the ball. And a little bit of anticipation, and that is going to be a 5-yarder that Lakewood really can't afford at this point in time.
I think Lakewood realized there's under 5 minutes and they're going to have to score twice to stay in this ball game, and they're getting a little anxious. They got to settle down and get the first score first.
Right yard first, the ball is spotted at the 14-yard line with 4:46 remaining in tonight's contest. 9-0 is the score. Hastings is leading, but Lakewood is threatening. One-man split wide to the left side, running out of the wishbone. Looking over the Saxon defense is Welch. Welch gets a bad snap, but pitches it back along the left side. And the Saxons, fine individual effort on the part of Rob Pennick.
Oh, Pennick just stuck with that play. He's a good defensive end. He stuck with it, and he kept moving to the outside, and he didn't let Dave May push him around.
Pennick battling off the blocker, holding up the play so his troops could come in and reinforce him, and then going in and making a solo tackle. 4:23 remaining as we're now looking at a 2nd and 13. A timeout has been called. However, we'll keep it right here as the Saxons defensively have their work cut out for them, as Lakewood will be running 3 more plays, and the Saxons want to preserve the shutout they have going for them. Up to the line now comes the center for Lakewood. That's Stuart Hirschberger. Now, the Vikings will have both ends in tight. They'll run out of the wishbone as the official holding things up, and now indicating that they're ready for the ball game to continue with 4:23 remaining. As barking out the signals, it's Bill Welch. Welch takes a snap from center, hands it off to the second man through, and May is going to bang his way down to about the 6-yard line. And finally the Saxons throw him down, but not until May picks up about 4 or 5 yards. We'll be looking now at a 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 6. And let's see what kind of a goal line stance the Saxons can come up with now and try to preserve the shutout. With 3:55, the clock is running. Up to the line they come. Both ends in tight. Welch looking over the defense. He gives it off, or keeps it himself, coming around the right side, and he is going to be dumped. He'll pick up maybe a yard, and it is going to be 4th and goal from the 5. Fine pursuit on the part of the Saxons.
I mentioned before the key injuries of Durkee and Hammond, but it looks like both coaches have been fortunate to have the depth to fill in those positions. Pennick's doing a great job on defense right now, and Welch is quartering really well.
Okay, we're looking at 4th and goal from the 5. 3 minutes, 15 seconds. There's the snap. Pass in the end zone. It goes incomplete. There is no flag thrown, and it will be the ball turned over to Hastings on downs. 1st and 10 for the Saxons from their own 5-yard line. And real quickly, let's thank the sponsors of tonight's ball game: Dog and Suds, Green Motor Sales, Hastings Savings and Loan, Burger Chef, Cleveland's Menswear, Bosley Pharmacy, Larry's Sporting Center, TK Restaurants, Strickland Insurance Agency, Realty World, Gardner Pharmacy, and we'd also like to thank Hastings City Bank and Burger Chef. Up to the line now come the Saxons. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to the first man through, and it goes to King, and he'll crack forward to about the 7, maybe even the 8-yard line before he's upended. Pick up about, we'll call it a pickup of a short 3. We're looking now at a 2nd and long 7 with 2:54. The clock is running. In this, the final stanza of play, the Saxons thus far preserving what is a shutout. This ball game has seen no fewer than 8 turnovers in the contest. King bangs his way out to the 10-yard line, and we'll be looking now at a 3rd and 5 from the 10. They need to get to the 15 for the first down. 2:26 and the clock is running. Saxons sending out of the ball game now Bob Tunison. Up to the line come the Saxons. At quarterback, it's now Nelson DeFogel. Vogel hands it off to the first man through, and the Saxons will get about 2 or 3 yards. It appears there's, again, King gathering in the handoff. And we'll be looking at a 3rd and 2, or 4th and 2, and a punting situation for the Saxons as the ball is spotted at their own 13-yard line, and the Saxons will try to get all the distance they can as they'll be kicking into the wind, but it's a very mild wind at this particular point in time. Going deep for the Saxons is Dave Reardon. He gets a kick away. No one is deep for Lakewood as they had 11-man line rushing in. Ball will be spotted at the 44-yard line. We know that every concerned homeowner likes to keep in touch with the current real estate market and home financing. Lawrence House Realty World, located at 115 West State Street in Hastings, and his professionally trained staff will be happy to discuss with you today's property values in your neighborhood and the surrounding area. Together, we can evaluate the present market value of your property and review the amount of equity that is currently growing in your home's investment. Realty World has developed 3 unique services: Real Scope, Real Facts, and Real Line that simplify buying and selling for you. That's Realty World here in Hastings. There's the snap, going back to pass is Welsh, and the screen is deflected, and it is, let's see, the quarterback completing a pass to himself, as deflecting the ball was Paul Smith for the Saxons, but quickly coming in was Welsh to gather the ball in, and he was thrown for a loss of some 11 yards on the play off the screen.
I mentioned before, Paul Smith's not that big. This says he's 5'9". I'm not sure how accurate that is. Boy, he got in fast on that play. Boy, he really hits home.
Okay, we're looking now at a 2nd and 21 after a loss of 11 yards on an attempted screen pass that was deflected, and the quarterback caught his own pass. 1 man wide to the left side is the Hastings marching band preparing to take the field for post-game show, and a pass downfield for what would have been good for a 13-yard pickup is incomplete, and coming up with the Charlie horse, it's only a temporary thing, but boy, those things hurt, is Scott Foreman, the senior, 5'7", 149 pounds, and timeout will be called while we'll administer a little first aid to the right calf of the injured Viking. While we have just one, I'd like to remind you that Walgreen Pharmacy, your good neighbor pharmacy for Hastings and Berry County, back the Hastings Saxons and all the young men and women involved in the athletic programs throughout the county. Make Gardner's Walgreen Pharmacy your prescription headquarters for all of your pharmacy and beauty aids. And for your good health, Gardner's recommends the Walgreens Vitamins and Minerals, the vitamins for people on the go, consisting of 12 vitamins and 9 minerals, plus whole dried liver for a blood builder. Pass downfield, and it goes incomplete, as that pass downfield would have been good for a pickup of some 18 yards. And again, we have an injured player on the field, and getting up and slowly coming over to the sideline for Lakewood is Kyle Chase.
I think the point of the ball came up into his stomach and kind of knocked the wind out of him.
Again, that type of injury is not a permanent thing, and it's something that will go away, and tomorrow he won't remember it. But again, that's one of those things that, gosh darn, those things hurt. The ball is spotted, the ball at the 45-yard line, with now just 15 seconds remaining, as this is student body left for Lakewood. No backfield other than the quarterback. A long downfield bomb, and it is going to be intercepted at the 30-yard line. Downfield, and he gets it out to the 40 to the 42-yard line, and the Saxons thwart any Lakewood attempts to get 6 points on the board.
I knew you weren't going to keep Phil Martin from getting that ball when the Lakewood Vikings were forced to pass every time. He's an excellent safety, and he didn't get to play a lot last year, but I'm sure he's going to be a name for Hastings this year.
Okay, that'll bring up a 1st and 10 situation now for the Saxons. And real quickly, let's take a look at our upcoming schedule for telecast here on Triad CA-TV. 1 week from today, we'll be televising Charlotte's game as they open their league play in the Capital Circuit. On the 21st, we'll televise the Charlotte-Marshall game, and that's the end of the ball game. The Hastings Saxons win it by a score of 9-0. We'll review the scoring plays in tonight's ball game in just a moment. But first, I'd like to tell you that if you're easy food tradition that will be starting this year and a trophy. And Chris, why don't you give us a little information on that?
Well, the new traveling trophy for the Hastings Lakewood game was just donated this year because this is an annual event, kind of like the little brown jug with Michigan and Minnesota. And they just presented it to Coach Karpinski, and I'm sure he's more than happy to take it.
Okay, the Saxons looking for a 9-0 season as the sign just below the cheerleaders. 9-0, here we go, and right now they're 1-0. And you got to win that first one in order to have a perfect season, and the Saxons did it with a field goal of some 36 yards in the second quarter of play, and then a fumble recovery going some 45 yards, and you can tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, the ball bounced right up into Mark Smith's hands. He picked it up, he rambled into the end zone for a touchdown, and he's not going to get a lot of recognition. The coaches are going to realize it, but you've got to give Chuck Helmer a lot of credit, offensive and defensively. You know, those linemen don't get the credit they deserve, and you got to realize that the running backs couldn't do it without him, and Helmer just played a whale of a ball game.
You're right, both offensively and defensively. Helmer is going to be a man to be reckoned with, and a very strong candidate for all conference honors, and possibly both offensively and defensively. The final score, 9-0, as the Saxons win their first one on a shutout here at the home field. And next week, Hastings will enter the Twin Valley Circuit down at Coldwater. It should be a very exciting ball game, as Coldwater is going to be a little short on size, but according to their head coach, Dan Marco, they're going to have a lot of spirit this year. It promises to be a very good ball game. That'll be the second home game in a row for Coldwater, and building up maybe a little momentum for them there, and we'll see what Hastings can do to make it 2-0 next week down at Coldwater. We'll be back with final comments right after this. A very sweet victory it was after losing last year to Lakewood, one of their only 2 losses. And they have to avenge that loss. The only other team that beat them last year, the Marshall Redskins, and that game will also be televised here on Triad CATV. Also televising of the Hastings games on the 28th. Hastings will be down at Albion, and we'll be televising that ball game. And again, that will be seen the following day at noon right here on Triad CATV Channel 5. Chris, it's been a real pleasure and a real enjoyment to watch the Saxons in a very good defensive effort.
Hope you can make it up here again.
I'm planning on it, Chris. Okay, it's Wayne Wright, and along with us is Chris Cooley and our man up top, Ken Wright. Again, the final score, 9-0. We want to thank our sponsors once again. They include the Burger Chef, Hastings City Bank, Gardner Pharmacy, Realty World, Strickland Insurance Agency, the Tikai Restaurant, Leary Sports Center, Mosley Pharmacy, Cleveland's Menswear, Burger Chef, Hastings Savings and Loan, Green Motor Sales, and Dog and Stone. Again, the final score, 9-0. Hastings winning it. Next week will be